Welcome to the Drake Escape. Now, one of the questions I'm asked most often about is how do you improve productivity? How do you get salespeople to sell more? How do you get workers to work more? And a lot of people ask me about incentives. And the answer that I give is don't start by throwing lots of money at it. And the reason for this is because small amounts of money can be useful, they can help people show that you appreciate what they do. But large amounts of money can often lead to really strange behaviours, people gaming the system, people doing things that you really wouldn't expect them to do in order to get those bonuses and those incentives. Now, one of the first things that you should start with is actually one of the simplest, and it's simply saying thank you. Now, Dan O'Reilly is a really good researcher and he did a great piece of work on this. He and his team took 3 groups of people and they gave those people a task. And that task was to take a sheet of paper which had random letters all over it, to take a highlighter pen and to highlight wherever they found 2 of the same letter together. Once they got to the end of the sheet, they would hand it back into an adjudicator, and for each of the 3 groups, the adjudicator would do something differently. So for the first group, the adjudicator would look at the sheet, say, and put it on a pile. For the second group, the adjudicator wouldn't look at the sheet at all. He'd just put it on a pile. For the third group, the adjudicator, right in front of the person that had done it, without even looking at the sheet, would just put it straight into a shredder. And each of those people was then offered slightly less money to do the task again. So every time they came, they were offered less money and they received the same response from the adjudicator, depending on the group that they were in. And here's the chart of how those groups performed. The third group, the group that had their work shredded right in front of them, they stopped most quickly. They stopped at around 30 cents a page. The group that received the aha, that were acknowledged at least that the work that they'd done, they continued to work until they were in about half that amount. So they did twice as much work for half the pay as the group that was shredded in front of them. But what about the group that was completely ignored? Now, here's the interesting thing. The group that was completely ignored behaved almost exactly the same as the group that had their work shredded right in front of them. So if you want your people to work twice as hard for potentially half the amount of money, say thank you. It really is as simple as that.